Well, hello and welcome from the living room floor of the dollhouse for another reading from The Secret Language of Birthdays for July 13th, the day of taken opportunity. And here we have us a illustration of, it looks like some sort of flower, I suppose, but it's being reached for by some lion's paws, I would reckon. Yeah, some lion's paws. Hey, is it your birthday? Is it July 13th and it's your birthday today? Well, if it is, I just want to extend you a heartfelt happy birthday. And if you find this video long after or shortly thereafter your birthday has come and gone, well, I hope you had a happy birthday. But for everyone else who's just joining us out of curiosity, I want to say welcome and hope you enjoy yourself. But before we dive in with the reading, let's roll us some daily numbers real quick for a little bit of synchronicity, for some numbers to look out for so we can get on that universal path. I don't have me a 20-sided die just yet. I'll have to get on that. But anyway, let's get in with two 6-sided die there. And the roll comes up with a 6 in the root and a 3 in the crown. 4 and 9. July 13th. You're looking for some 9s, some 3s, and some 6s. Now, what does all that mean if you're not familiar with universal synchronicity? Well, it just means that the universe is always trying to give you the answers or the way to go on your path. And so, since those are your numbers, you just keep on the lookout for them. 3, 6, and 9. Maybe you're going down 6th Avenue and you see, address number 36. And then or 39 perhaps, and I don't know, but you go in there and you find yourself, a flower with some lion's paws on it. I mean, who's to say, who's to say? It could be one of those eclectic head shops or something, but in any event, I'm just waxing poetic. Who's to say what you find? You could find the love of your life if you don't have one of those, or maybe you could just find a nice little elixir for something that ails you, like some cold bones or something, if that's a thing. I don't know. In any event, hey, let's dive in, all right? For July 13th, your month is July, your day the 13th, and your sign is 20 to 22 degrees Cancer, for the Cancer 3 period specifically, and your quality and elements is Cardinal water. July 13th, the day of taken opportunity. The lives of July 13 people seem to revolve around taking advantage of opportunities. Less highly evolved people born on this day don't recognize their chance when it comes or continually make false starts, resulting in setbacks or outright failures. Most July 13th people, however, have a feeling or a kairos, the right time for searching for something, Greek word, I think, and through a single opportune may set themselves on a path leading to a full expression of their abilities with commensurate monetary or spiritual rewards. Less highly evolved people born on July 13th may come to think of themselves as unlucky, which is not only devastating to their self-confidence, but may become a self-fulfilling prophecy. More successful July 13th people rest easy, confident that their time will come, regardless of their temporary setbacks or slow progress. Their self-confidence and self-esteem rarely waver, even in times of great trial. Successful July 13th people may start at rock bottom, but as long as they are moving up, they are content. In this respect, they are like a patient and stalwart mountain climber toiling their way to the top. At some point in their ascent, they may need to take a high-stakes gamble or series of calculated risks, as a result of which they are able to proceed with even greater alacrity, which I had to look up. Maybe you didn't, but it means with cheerful eagerness, but it also means with swiftness of movement or haste. Alacrity. Fate has a way of rewarding them for their risk-taking, which can be as extreme as leaving everything they have and know behind to emigrate to a new country, quitting a regular job to go into business, or setting out on an entirely untried new direction. Their courage in risking total failure is sometimes bolstered by the fact that they may have nothing to lose in the first place. After formulating a project or founding a business, July 13 people usually stick around to run it and reap the benefits as well as the trials, tribulations, and sometimes the losses. Should they be totally wiped out financially or face defeat in their endeavors? Well, they most often simply put their affairs in order and begin to try again in another field. They are not the types to cry over spilt milk. The families of July 13 people have to trust in their risk-taking instincts. If the mate of someone born on this day is not understanding or supportive enough, the relationship will come under enormous stress and most probably fail. July 13 people are capable of being faithful friends. However, they are not the most forgiving types, and in extreme cases can dump a fair-weather friend quite unceremoniously with a friends to the end, and this is the end attitude. Those who become involved with July 13 people must watch their step, for those born on this day don't have a lot of time for duplicitous nonsense. Well, all right. Hey, it sounds like you are someone who, what did I put down in the notes? Ostensibly someone who takes advantage of opportunities, eh? Well, considering that so many people don't, that is quite the prized characteristic to have, I would say, at least in my opinion. And hence, I suppose those who are considered less evolved, well, they might not have that ability. That's just it. You do, you just don't recognize it, right? And if you are one of those seemingly unlucky ones, maybe this is just the wake-up call you need to get after it. I'm telling you, the universe is there. Maybe these numbers is right where you need to start. Looking for that lion's paw holding that blossom. That's right. And I would argue at least a semi-soft 94% of life is just figuring that stuff out. And I struggle with it myself. What else did I write down here? But just keep trying, right? That's what these highly evolved July 13th people seem to be doing, if this is any way accurate. What else I got here? So apparently just keep toiling to the top of that mountain, right? And hey, the journey, even if you don't get what you need, the journey is half the thing. You'll be telling stories for all your days about how you struggled and toiled, and at least you'll have the story, right? Look on the bright side of things. And it's just spilt milk, right? Until it turns into a petri dish if you don't clean that trash up. So hey, clean up that spilt milk, baby. That's just a Zen type thing to do, right? Dig a hole, fill a hole. What else do we got here? No time for duplicitous nonsense. That is right. Time is precious. So get up, get busy. And friends to the end, and this is the end. It's cold, but hey, very pragmatic. That's right. And sometimes necessary. Isn't that right? Okay. Let's move on to your numbers and your planets. Those born on the 13th of the month are ruled by the number 4 and by the planet Uranus, which is both erratic and explosive. That's right. And since July 13th, people are usually involved in well-directed, patient pursuits, they must learn to keep the impulsive Uranian part of themselves under control until the right moment. Maybe it's Urian. Yeah. Uranian is like the element, right? And although the number 13th is considered unlucky by many people, it is rather a powerful number, which does carry the responsibility of using its power wisely or running the risk of self-destruction. Less highly evolved July 13 people must beware of tagging themselves as bad luck people, making self-fulfilling prophecies, or indulging in self-pity. The number 4 traditionally represents rebellion, idiosyncratic beliefs, and a desire to change the rules. So July 13 people often find themselves on the outside of society, looking in. Since the sign of Cancer is ruled by the moon, they must be particularly wary of being betrayed by impulsive emotions. All right, let's dive into your number, the number 4, and you're ruled by Uranus. That's me too, baby. That's me too, though I wasn't born on the 13th. What we got here? Fellow Urian, right? You erratic and explosive. I can't say that I possess that particular quality myself. I don't think, anyhow. But if you do, just be mindful of it. Or ask other folks. And then you'll be like, you think I am, right? Because you probably don't notice it yourself. But if you do, maybe you're one of them highly evolved folks. Now, let's get back to the notes here. Patient and directed pursuits. Right there with you. Hey, don't take joy in it. That's what I try to do. Take joy in it. Because I figure one of these days, and I know this from experience, I'm going to long for those days when things were so simple and I was just drilling down on the work. Because when they're gone, you don't know it at the time, but when they're gone, you think back on them and you wish you were there. At least I do. So, hey, enjoy it while you're doing it. What else we got here? Don't engage in self-pity. No, sir. Well, I engage in a little bit of it. I let it run its course. I figure it's something I can learn from being in the doldrums, but don't let it take control, right? Let it run its course and then get going. So again, I wrote, I like to stew with it a bit and let it have its time and see what I can learn from it. And then put the kibosh on that junk. All right, see, rebellion against the rules and idiosyncratic beliefs. All right, nice. Right there with you. I believe in doing it too, because I don't know, things are so rote and uninteresting half the time. You gotta look for something interesting, inventive, original. And maybe the most unoriginal thing is trying to be original, but hey, it keeps things interesting, right? All right, let's move on to your tarot. One of the more eclectic practices of the metaphysical world, but it is interesting, right? The most misunderstood card in the tarot is the 13th card of the major arcana, Death, which very rarely is to be taken literally, but signifies a letting go of the past in order to grow beyond limitations. Yeah, metaphorically, anyhow. Oh, metamorphically, rather. Both this card and the number 4 suggest that July 13 people must guard against discouragement, disillusion, pessimism, and melancholy. I think we covered that. Well, don't engage in the self-pity there. Again, guard against your discouragement, and I do that by trying to figure out or learn from it. And that's, maybe yours is about letting go, I think as the reading wrote, but good luck with that. That's all I have to say. All right, let's move on to your health. All right. July 13 people must beware of accidents and psychological stress during periods of radical transformation. Perhaps they see their objective clearly, but overlook their own delicate physical or psychic state. To break down just as the goal is within reach would be truly tragic. So, they should use their periods of slow buildup or recovery to better their health through improving their diet and engaging in regular exercise. And usually July 13 people are curious about all sorts of foods and make excellent cooks if they invest the time. That's right, stay curious, right? That's just going to lead you down the path for more things. Life is variety, right? A rich life is variety, something to that nature. I don't recall. But that has been your health, and let's move on to some advice. Always wait for the right moment. This is your great strength. Like a tiger, knowing when to lie still and when to leap. Your patience will be rewarded. And when you make your move, give it all you've got, right? Daring to fail is your key to success. Don't badmouth yourself. Now, me, I'm a little different. I was in the Marine Corps for 6 years, and one of the tried characteristics or the through lines of being in the Marine Corps is being told you're garbage, being told you're trash, you're nasty, all of those things. So that's always in the back of your mind. I mean, I think human nature that's there, evidently, but they really drill it home. And so I had a long time of being like, you're nasty, you're trash. And I'm like, no, I'm not. In the back of my mind, no, I'm not. And so that was the drive to prove that you weren't nasty. And so, hey, don't badmouth yourself. I think I took an acting class where they told me I needed to get rid of that notion and that practice. And for a long time I did. But then when them doldrums set in, I try to drill down on that a little bit. When they're having to put the kibosh on it, as I said earlier. Tell myself, come on, nasty, you need to get out of this, kind of thing. In the event, that is your advice. Don't take mine necessarily, but find what works for you, right? And maybe that is looking for some daily numbers. Who's to say? All right, let's move on to your meditation. Everything is changing all the time, from one moment to the next. All right, let's dive in with your strengths and your weaknesses. Your strengths, you're daring, you're goal-oriented, and you're stalwart. I'll have to look that one up, but you're stalwart. Your weaknesses are you're impulsive, unforgiving, and self-denigrating. All right, let's move on to those born on this day so we can see some of the company July 13th people are in, and maybe throw a little context on that personality type. Who's to say maybe there's some pop culture icons in there? I haven't looked at them myself, but it might just give us an idea for those kinds of people if we don't know any. All right, those born on this day. We have Father Flanagan, who was a Roman Catholic priest and the founder of Boys Town for homeless or troubled boys. We have Harrison Ford, the film actor. We also have John Jacob Astor the Fourth, who was a real estate magnate, science fiction writer, and inventor of marine turbine and bicycle brake, and died on the Titanic. We have Wole Soyinka, who was a Nigerian playwright, Nobel Prize winner for literature, and the first African recipient. We also have Jack Kemp, a U.S. Senator, Housing and Urban Development Secretary, football quarterback, and an NFL passing leader. We also have Albert Eiler, who's a jazz tenor saxophonist. Charles Scribner III, who was a publisher. We have Isaac Babel, Ukrainian Jewish short story writer, who wrote Red Cavalry. We also have Cheech Marin, a comedian, film actor, Cheech and Chong. Well, that was Cheech Martin. Maybe they're missing the T there. We have Bob Crane, the TV stage actor of Hogan's Heroes fame. We have Helen Coulthard, who was a revivalist minister and came up from the slums. We have Carlo Bergonzi, Italian tenor. We have Hao Pin Soon, a Taiwanese premier. We have John Dee, the astrologer to Queen Elizabeth I of England. We have Bosley Crowther, was a New York Times film critic. We also have David Thompson, who was a basketball forward and a legendary leaper, it says. We have George Lang, the Hungarian culinary expert. We have Sidney Webb, the British socialist economist and the co-founder of the Fabian Society. We also have Sir George Gilbert Scott, the British architect. Sir Kenneth M. Clarke, the British art historian, writer of Rembrandt and the Italian Renaissance. And this has, before I dive in, your season is summer, and once again, your sign is Cancer of the Cancer 3 period specifically, and your quality element is Cardinal water. And this has been July 13th, the day of taking opportunity, from The Secret Language of Birthdays book by Gary Goldschneider and Joost. I have an affiliate link for this down in the description if you want to get you your own copy while supporting the channel and shooting me a little commission, but largely supporting old Gary Goldschneider and Joost. I'd largely appreciate it if you do, but this is a great book for a coffee table, for, parties, company, all that kind of thing. It's going to get the conversation started if you have an issue with that, or just need a little help. In any event, hey, if it was your birthday today, I just want to once again say happy birthday. I hope this taught you something you didn't necessarily know, or just emphasize things you already did know, but if it didn't seem to apply, hey, hopefully it was fun to hear and all of that. But for everyone else who just joined us randomly, hope you enjoyed yourself and you join us for your birthday. All right, you take care of yourselves, all right? And don't wallow in no self-pity there. And look out for your numbers once again. 6 and a 3 for a 9. That's right. Take care.